welcome to Bardling's Banter, where I go over tips and tricks for Dungeons & Dragons. Today on Learn to Spell, we are going over the Artificer class and its spell casting mechanics. So, getting right into it, the Artificer class is a somewhat recent addition to D&D. It was first brought in during the Eberron sourcebook, and then again somewhat recently, or somewhat more recently rather, in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. To get into a little bit of the multiverse side of things, Eberron is, to summarize very roughly, kind of a pocket world, somewhat outside of the multiverse of D&D. I realize that this might change, especially with how the multiverse is expanding, and different worlds are being added, so it might be added to the greater multiverse sooner rather than later. Anyway, getting back to the Artificer class, we will be going over specifically its entry in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. The Artificer class uses their intelligence score as a spellcasting feat, like a wizard. Unlike a wizard, it actually has a higher hit die, a D8, so a little more chunky than your average wizard right off the bat there. You start off with 2 cantrips, and you can prepare spells equal to your intelligence modifier plus half of your Artificer's level. So if you're a level 4 Artificer with a 20 in intelligence, you can prepare, 20 intelligence would give you a +5 to your modifier, plus level 4, so that would be 2, so 7 spells. You use your intelligence modifier to cast spells, but unlike a wizard, you do not use, magic formulae, or anything to cast spells, or a spell book. You actually use your tools, so be that your blacksmith tools or your thieves tools, you use your tools to imbue magic into items, be they magical or mundane. Where a wizard is, like I've said before, the nerd of the D&D world, an Artificer is the mechanic. So for all you steampunk fans out there, Artificer is the class for you. If there was ever a class that was going to have a gun, it would be an Artificer. At first level, you learn the ability of magical tinkering. There is about, a page worth of information on that alone, so I do invite you to look into how that works specifically. If I am to summarize what magical tinkering does, I would say basically it allows you to use the prestidigitation cantrip, but then I would put many asterisks behind that. So again, please read the page for further details. You can, basically it gives you the powers of the prestidigitation cantrip, but imbued into specific items. You can use this ability equal to your intelligence modifier, and they do stack, so you can have multiple items doing multiple things at a given time, up to, again, your intelligence modifier. Again, you cast spells through your tools. You get 2 cantrips right off the bat at first level. And you, at this time as an Artificer, you only have 4 subclasses. They are the Alchemist, Armorer, Artillerist, and Battlesmith. The other main feature for your class is going to be, let me move over to it, infusing items. This is another thing that you really just need to, put your nose to the grindstone and read about, but I will paraphrase so you get the big picture. Kind of like magical tinkering infusing items infuses magic into the item. The way it describes it, and I think the description's pretty apt, is you create prototype magical items. You infuse magic into a certain number of items, which obviously increase as you level up, and they give you, they act as magical items. Some of these items can include things that give you the ability to climb easier, the ability to breathe underwater, the ability to see in darkness, +1 or +2 to your AC, that sort of thing. Again, just there's a whole list of different infusions that you can use to make your Artificer as badass as you see fit. I would like to take just a moment here just to go over the different subclasses, because there are only 4 for this class so far. Again, Alchemist, Armorer, Artillerist, Battlesmith. Going over them briefly, Alchemist, you're basically creating concoctions that are spell-like abilities, and you lob these, you throw these concoctions at your enemies. Kind of fun. Sounds pretty fun. I've never played one, but sounds fun. Armorer, basically you can be Iron Man. That's really what it is at the end of the day. Artillerist. It's exactly what it sounds like. You have basically a friendly robot that assists you in battle. Obviously, it's more complicated than that. Read the description for details. And finally, there's the Battlesmith. All Artificers have the ability to make homunculi. This one kind of just takes it a step further with giant mechanical creatures. So that is the Artificer class. As of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Kind of like the cool steampunk version of a wizard. I enjoy them. They are, I would say, kind of an advanced class, meaning I would not necessarily recommend them for first-time players unless you really want to play one, because they are very rules-heavy. But if you're into that kind of thing and you enjoy getting into the minutia of how things work, this is the class for you. So to summarize again, Artificers use their intelligence modifier to cast spells. They use their tools to cast spells, be that their smith's tools or thieves' tools or any, artificer-like tools. Additionally, you can imbue magic into items to create effects, up to kind of mimicking other magical items in game. There is, of course, a handy table for that, showing you the different type of items you can create. But as always, consult your DM. Maybe they'll let you do some other cool things as you level up. Additionally, the subclasses, which there are only 4 of so far, are called specialtists. So you've got your armorer, your artillerist, your battlesmith, and your alchemist. And they are all, as far as I can see, pretty strong, with the strongest of the 4, probably being, in my opinion, the artillerist, if you are just talking about pure damage output. But again, it's a great class, particularly if you want to play a wizard, but you actually want to be able to take a hit. So, thank you for joining me once again. This has been Bardling's Banter, wishing you all a 1d10 worth of inspiration.